Your support helps us bring you programs you love. Go to WyomingPBS.org, click on Support, and become a sustaining member or an annual member. It's easy and secure. Thank you.
Christmas has always been a time of reflection, a season of birth, a gathering of family, and embraced with traditions. One tradition has become a staple of the season: the Christmas tree. Picking the perfect tree is just as important as the tree itself. In its purest form, it is simply a tree, standing tall in a forest of millions. But one tree will come to embody the spirit of the season, a celebration and gift from Wyoming to the nation. The early morning sun pierces a clearing in a Wyoming forest. The ground is covered with snow, and the frigid November temperatures are perfect weather for a Christmas tree harvest. A large crowd gathers, anticipating the cutting of a special tree. But the hunt for this tree began months earlier.
So we're looking at a couple issues with this tree. It's so tall.
Yeah, so you said this was like 90 feet or so.
That's what we're thinking.
Yeah. Engelmann spruce?
Right.
U.S. Forest Service employee Mary Cernicek is project coordinator for the Capitol Christmas Tree Project. The tree she and her team chooses will become a part of an annual tradition, an iconic symbol of the holiday season. This small part of Wyoming will grace the lawn of one of the nation's most majestic buildings, the U.S. Capitol. Nearly 6 million acres of trees make up National Forest Service land in Wyoming. The evergreens of the forest are made up of lodgepole, whitebark, and ponderosa pine, Douglas fir, and Engelmann spruce. Although this is the first time a tree from Wyoming will adorn our nation's capital, the first celebrated event occurred nearly a century ago. On Christmas Eve, 1913, thousands of people gathered on the East Plaza of the United States Capitol building. President Woodrow Wilson wanted a community Christmas tree placed at the Capitol to be recognized as a yearly national event. A Norway spruce, nearly 40 feet tall, was chosen. The tree was covered in red, white, and blue lights. The U.S. Marine Band played festive tunes as singers praised the season with hymns. Although the tradition continued the following year, it came to an end in 1915 due to lack of funds. The Capitol would not see a Christmas tree celebration for another half-century. The early 60s were a time of divisive change for the nation. More troops were being sent to Vietnam. Tensions were high as the nuclear arms race intensified, and the country was still reeling from the death of its young president. At the suggestion of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, John McCormick, the architect of the Capitol, J. George Stewart, oversaw the planting of a live tree on the west front lawn. In 1964, Stewart and President Pro Tem of the Senate, Carl Hayden, lit the 24-foot Douglas fir. The tradition was renewed. That tree would remain for the next 3 seasons until its demise due to wind and root damage. Then in 1970, the Capitol architect and the National Forest Service combined efforts to provide the people's tree. This group has the task of finding the perfect tree. Beverly Carroll is the Capitol Christmas Tree National Manager. She has worked 15 years coordinating efforts between the states, the regional forests, and the Office of the Architect of the Capitol to locate potential trees.
In 2007, when the Green Mountain National Forest in Vermont had arrived at the Capitol, Senator Barrazo, I guess, was in the area, and he saw some commotion going on, and he inquired with the Forest Service Deputy Chief's office what this was all about. He said, well, I want Wyoming to bring the Capitol Christmas tree. And so we explained to him that we did not have a forest for 2010, and he said, okay, we'll take it. We were so excited because that has never happened before.
U.S. forests from around the country are invited to express interest in the opportunity to provide the Capitol Christmas tree. The forest is selected based on simple criteria: whether the state is celebrating a historical event or theme, the location of the national forest, and its ability to generate contributions to help fund the project. The search committee has come to Bridger-Teton National Forest in western Wyoming, which covers more than 3.4 million acres of public land. The Bridger-Teton is part of the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem, the largest intact ecosystem in the lower 48 states.
We had 23 trees nominated from people from across the forest. We had it from employees, we had it from community members, we had it from different service groups, so quite a few people participated in the nomination process.
From those 23 trees, Mary and her team have narrowed the search to 10. For the next 2 days, they will cover over 100 miles, stretching from the southernmost portion of the forest near Afton, Wyoming, to the Pacific Creek area outside the east edge of Grand Teton National Park.
Well, I'm saying, you know, overall how it looks, it has good color.
Beverly has accompanied Ted Bechtel, the superintendent of the U.S. Capitol grounds. He will have the final say as to which tree will be chosen to sit on the front lawn of the Capitol.
It's in the right size and size range that we're looking for. A good tree, but hopefully we'll see some even better candidates, you know, in the next couple of trees we see.
It was up to me and my team to take those 23 nominated trees, narrow it down to the really top 10, the very best trees, and make sure that we made a good presentation for our state to the superintendent. It's actually a pretty simple criteria. It's a lot of what I think a lot of us use when we're trying to pick our own trees for our own homes. The tree needed to be grown in a relatively open manner so that it was full and could be viewed from all sides. There's no wall in the Capitol lawn to push this tree up against.
It's a heck of a tree, though.
7 feet.
7 inches.
7 inches.
It's a good size. It's a beefy tree. We only grow them beefy here. Beef country in Wyoming. Yeah. By golly.
A big tree does not necessarily make the best tree.
A little more uniform from this
For Forest Service employee Josh Sorensen, a key will be whether the tree can be fitted with a bladder, which will keep it watered on its 4,000-mile journey to Washington.
Take a picture to document the.
Yeah, the diameter at the base is about the max that we can hold in that sock.
Wow,
so if we find a big old honker, we're gonna have a hard time finding the bladder system.
That's another practical consideration that you gotta make. But nice location here as far as harvesting and all. And it's nice to be up in the mountains like this, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jeff will have these. Well, yeah, what you do out there in Wyoming.
Jeff Underwood is along to make sure his trucking company will be able to maneuver the 85-foot double flatbed trailer around the narrow mountain roads.
I don't know as you could widen this as much as you could fill in right there.
I think what we would do is we'd fill.
Right. And then you could dig back out afterwards.
Dig it back out.
Although Jeff hails from Georgia, he was the first to contact Mary and secure his ride as the over-the-road hauler. Just one of the many volunteers that will donate a total of over 50,000 man-hours. individuals and businesses making contributions. From the crew that will cut the tree to the school children that make the ornaments. Time, services, and resources, all donated.
There are volunteers from across the state of Wyoming. We have employees from other forests. We have community members from Sundance, Gillette, Laramie, Rock Springs. I mean, this is an all-encompassing effort. It's a true collaboration from all the communities in the state of Wyoming.
As day one comes to a close, the team stops at the Forest Service headquarters in Jackson. Even a few of the larger trees on the property were nominated. In all, an additional 75 trees will be delivered from Wyoming to the Capitol and placed in congressional and Senate offices. Day two, and the search has moved north to Jackson Hole, to an area aptly coined Christmas Tree Meadow. It is here that the greatest concentration of nearly perfect trees stand.
So our trees are over here in this meadow where you and Jeff were headed earlier.
This tree here doesn't look too bad.
This would be our tree. This is the first tree we're looking at today.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice tree, that's for sure.
5 feet.
While measurements determine the circumference of the tree, pine cones and branches are taken for lab samples to determine the overall health of the tree.
Yeah, just this assortment of the different cones. See how much smaller these are from some of the other trees that we've been looking at? Has the classic Christmas tree shape.
Right, and that's extremely
And-
important. The
Good.
overall shape, the conical, even conical form is really important. And that's got that pretty well. You know, there's a couple little gaps here and there.
Oh, I'm beaming.
Okay. No, that's good. Okay.
Glad. And even better, there's less mosquitoes over here. Unfortunately, the next couple of weeks, right back.
This is a really big tree.
Yeah, if I remember, I think this one's 78, 80 feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a gorgeous tree. God. But you know what I see? I see a big trunk. You know, the trunk.
Yeah.
Now this is,
Potential.
I mean, this has got a good overall shape, but it's thin.
It's so
you know?
thin.
So, I mean, it can't compete with its neighbors here.
Yeah. But do you want to take a look at this one?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
It's funny, the lead at the very top looks like it died or something.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, you're
You
right.
wonder what happened with that. You know, it seems like an odd thing.
Yeah.
The trees in the meadow are the cream of the crop,
You know, with ice or
but
something.
Ted's critical eye to detail has Mary wondering which one is his top choice.
I'm reading over his shoulder to see if I could make sense of the notes, and I can't. They're just as cryptic as his statements. We'll never know.
She's already.
All right, let's take a look
I
at
won't
the
play
next one,
poker
Mary.
with you.
And,
What are you thinking? You liking it? Full?
yeah, it's
No
pretty
bear?
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because I haven't even walked around it yet.
No, we'll take a look.
Yeah?
Take a look yourself. And these are the cones from
By the end of the day, the trees in Christmas Tree Meadow stand out like gold tinsel garland compared to others from across the forest. Ted has narrowed his selection down to one. But for the safety and security of the tree, it will be another 4 months before the location is revealed to the public. What makes a Christmas tree a Christmas tree? Ornaments. It will take over 5,000 to cover the 65-foot tree. School children from around the state have made ornaments unique to Wyoming for the Capitol Christmas tree, and 75 other smaller trees that will adorn offices within the Capitol complex. It is early November and time to harvest the tree.
Other than that, Nick, whenever you guys want to climb the tree, we're ready.
Appreciate yourself.
So we brought ours in case you need it.
A climber secures a strap on the upper portion of the tree as a crane holds it in place.
It's okay if it goes back and forth a little bit. As long as it's right up against that stem, it's not gonna swing out of there.
It's tight right now, believe it or not.
Okay. Okay, you had it higher than I thought then.
As long as it's pretty straight with the trees, and then pretty close to the trunk up there.
Securing the straps on this 6,000-pound tree is vital. If done improperly, it could strip branches away from the trunk of the tree.
That's it, bud. Like a stage shot coming down before you cut it back. Looking good.
After several minutes of cutting the 25-inch trunk, the tree hangs by the crane. Jeff Underwood has returned to Wyoming from his home in Georgia. His rig has brought in the 85-foot trailer and is waiting to load the tree.
They actually bring in 2 cranes. They'll have one hooked up high and then one down low. And when they cut the tree, both of them will gradually lay it down. And then I will back up in under it right here. You've just got to be very careful with it because, you know, when you lay it down on the trailer, in the cradles, you got to have the cradles positioned just right because it will break limbs, you know, and you don't want the nation's tree, you know, being broke up when you deliver it. We'll fit it in the plastic bladder, the butt of the tree in the plastic bladder at that time before they lay the tree completely down on the trailer.
I'll be there.
65 feet, the official height. Set. It's good news. Jeff, how tall are we allowed to be?
Legally 13.6.
Yeah, but that ain't happening right now. Under 17 feet right now.
Before this extra-wide load can go anywhere, the branches are secured using hundreds of feet of string. With everything battened down, Jeff is anxious to head out of the mountains. With just a few obstacles to maneuver around.
The only curve I didn't think we'd have problems with. Oh well, we made it.
It's a great project. It's something that not many people have ever done, and we just count it an honor to be chosen, you know, to be a part of this and to represent Wyoming and our company and the nation. How's everything riding back there?
Everything looks good right now.
Phelan, this is Mark in the truck. You can speed up if you need to.
What normally would be a 30-minute drive from Christmas Tree Meadow to this grand view has taken Jeff and his driver Mark nearly 3 hours. But for Jeff, it is worth it. The police-escorted convoy makes its way to Jackson, where thousands have turned out for an early Christmas celebration.
Well, we made it.
Picture perfect imperfection. I live on piece of history. Forever waits for all those it's blessed. A cowboy Christmas tree. cowboy Christmas tree.
The next day, the tree is packed up for the long haul. Along the way, the team makes 21 stops in Wyoming, with huge crowds waiting to get a glimpse of the tree.
You will be offered a chance to sign the banner shortly and get a chance to get close and personal to this tree before we take it off to Washington, D.C. So, can you see our name?
The southern swing of the U.S. tour makes its way through Jeff's hometown.
My family gets to go with me from Dahlonega on to Washington. It's something that I think would be a career highlight for me, and it's something that my children can tell their children about. That when we roll into Washington, you know, it's just something that not many people have ever done.
It's late November, and the tree arrives in front of the Capitol. A journey which began 2 weeks earlier and 4,000 miles to the west. It is now Ted Bechtel's oversight which will transform this Wyoming Engelmann spruce into a Christmas tree.
We'll have a crew of about 10 staff people that work on the tree, that work the crane and get the tree in place. We have our masons that prepare a little concrete to go around the bottom. Electricians put in the lights.
The thousands of ornaments made by Wyoming school children add the final touches to the tree. The long-awaited day arrives, with the temperature dropping into the low teens. Winter in the nation's capital. Much like that day nearly a century ago, people gather on the grounds of the Capitol to celebrate the season. Instrumental in Wyoming's participation is an exuberant Senator Barrasso.
Well, it's the first time ever for Wyoming, and it was worth the wait. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? And the work that went into getting this here wasn't done by the congressional delegation. It was done by all of you. Well, I just want to thank the thousands and thousands of people from Wyoming who turned out as this tree traveled through the roads of Wyoming, stopping 1,000 people in Cody, 1,500 in Jackson, 1,000 in Wheatland, all coming to see this tree, because this tree is a gift from the people of Wyoming to the United States to celebrate Christ's birth.
The Cheyenne All-City Children's Chorus perform a medley of Christmas carols for the hundreds of onlookers. As is the tradition, the Speaker of the House has the honor of lighting the Capitol Christmas tree.
To the people of Wyoming, thank you for this gift to the nation, the Capitol Christmas tree. It is a source of pride for Wyoming. It is a source of joy for the United States Congress and for all Americans.
Under the Speaker's guidance, Daniel Sitter of Fairview, Wyoming, flips the switch. And Wyoming's tree becomes the people's tree.
Okay, Daniel, here you go.
The most fulfilling part has been working with so many partners from across the state. You're working with youth and school children, you're working with senior citizen groups, you're working with service organizations, and it's a great chance to add a little bit of Wyoming flavor to every aspect of this project and make it uniquely Wyoming.
Well, it's always great to see the people of Wyoming coming together behind something that they're supportive of. It just shows what Wyoming is all about. It's that independent, rugged, Western spirit. This is Wyoming's gift to America to celebrate Christmas.
Merry Christmas from Du Bois, Wyoming. Merry Christmas from Sheridan. Merry Christmas from Cody. Oh, Merry Christmas from Cody. Merry Christmas from Casper.
From the United States Air Force and the Mighty 90 here at F.E. Warren Air Force Base.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from Lander. Merry Christmas from Laramie. Merry Christmas from Buffalo, Wyoming.
Merry Christmas from Bridger-Teton, Wyoming.